I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I get up when I'm bleeding, really bleeding. I'll never back down.
Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Mat, a huge pop wrestling podcast production. And just want to start off with saying that Stuntman Mike wasn't available today, so we are stuck with this guy, Officer Scott Atlas.
Hey, listen. I don't need you talking about Stuntman Mike. This is my podcast episode. I want to talk about me. This is me.
All right,
Let's keep Stuntman out of here, okay? That clown can stay elsewhere. He can. Tell you what. Give him an episode. Give him an episode of his own, and you guys can mingle like that, okay? Don't mention him, please. Thank you.
Well, there's another fan of yours, too, that asked the question, this shitty podcast must not be, if we have you on the show.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what I replied to him? I said, why don't you link your podcast episodes? And he couldn't. So that sets us apart. So that guy can, he can go over there in the corner with Stuntman Mike and cry about it.
Okay, Eddie Hughes, he says that you're a little crybaby, and he can go in the corner with Stuntman Mike. Yeah.
Now, Beyond the Mat started off as me talking to all my friends from TikTok and doing that and whatnot. And you have your own TikTok. I followed you, but apparently you don't know how to press that follow button. So
hey, I followed you back. I'm almost certain.
Okay.
I'll double check.
Now,
but depending on how this podcast goes, I might have to unfollow, or I just won't follow. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Now, what we like to do is dive into you as a person. Let's see what makes you tick as an individual. Let's just start off with the basics. When did you start being a wrestling fan, a fan of the business?
So I'm the ripe age of 23 right now. So I was 9 years old in 2009, and I was in my basement while everybody else was outside playing around doing whatever they wanted to do. I was in the basement flipping through the channels, and there was an episode of WWE on, and it was CM Punk wrestling John Morrison. So that kind of got me hooked. I can't remember if it was a Raw or a SmackDown, but that got me hooked, and I watched the rest of the show, and I watched pretty much weekly Raw and SmackDown for pretty much ever since then. It's that moment really set it apart. A couple weeks later, I got my brother into it, and him and I have been huge fans ever since.
So it's safe to say, who was your favorite growing up then? Like when you first turned, were you more captivated with CM Punk or John Morrison?
So I always liked John Morrison's in-ring work, but CM Punk as a whole has always been top tier for me. He definitely is on my Mount Rushmore of greatest of all time, and I know everyone's got their own personal ones, and he probably isn't on most people's, but he is on mine. I would say I've always been a bigger Punk guy than John Morrison for sure.
Okay, Scott.
No, I was just laughing because my brother and I would debate back a couple of years ago when CM Punk was in AEW, and for weeks upon weeks we discussed the media scrum that I thought that was probably one of the best things that they've ever done. And Matt and I would trash each other, we get pretty upset at each other. So I mean, I chuckle when you say CM Punk because I would agree. Probably on top of mine would be that you have to put CM Punk up there.
Yeah, for sure. I know that whole media scrum thing was very entertaining, and it was one of the only moments in wrestling history that made me emotional was when he returned to AEW, and then when all that stuff happened at the media scrum, and then he came back to AEW and was there for a hot second and then left again. It was like that piece of my childhood was ripped away again. And then, he returns at Survivor Series and That was WWE.com/shop, shirts in the cart before he even left the stage.
There you go. There you go. I think I was the same way with Roman Reigns OTC shirt.
Yeah.
Before the show was over, I'm buying that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was a heck of a moment too.
Yeah, when he returned at Survivor Series, my jaw hit the floor because up until that moment, I had no idea. The term is you never say never, but I always in the back of my head, there's no chance he's coming back to WWE.
Right.
So
yeah, who knows? I'm glad he's back. I think it's been incredible. It sucks with the injury and all that, but I think it's awesome to see that. It's awesome to see that because that's my generation's hero. So it's very cool to be able to watch that again.
All right, Broski, you got anything? Any questions?
Other than Stuntman Mike gimmick, what's the worst gimmick in your opinion of professional wrestling?
Starless Spangle. Is that a good answer? Starless Spangle.
Sweet little Starla.
Awesome. What about that creature feature clown that talks to plastic buckets? That's a pretty bad, that's a pretty bad gimmick, character, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they're up there for sure.
Now, here's a question for you though. When do you have to return that Paul Blart costume?
No, I don't have to return it. I own it. This is mine, and it's not even Paul Blart, man. Come on, this isn't Paul Blart. It says right here. Scott Atlas, right here. S Atlas. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's me. This is mine. These are real, genuine badges. I've earned them.
How much money do you put in the cookie jar? You like twist the crane machine? Is that what you get? And you spend so much time in the mall. There's got to be crane machines with badges in it. Is that what's going on?
I thought we were off to a good start here. You guys are being awfully disrespectful. Talking about how I didn't follow you on TikTok. I don't think I'll follow either of you. And in fact, I might just unfollow your Facebook page. We'll have to see. This is genuine. This is genuine. I've earned these, okay? You guys know what it feels like to earn anything in your lives? Or you just want to talk about Roman Reigns t-shirts, huh?
All right.
Yeah, mall cop yourselves, Paul Blart. Oh, where'd you buy that belt at, buddy?
Same place you bought your badges at, buddy.
You didn't buy those at the police station?
Someone said you bought it on Temu.
I don't even know what Temu is. I'm American.
That's all you can afford.
Oh, that's
American made. What is Temu? Temu, some foreign site, something like that. I've never shopped there in my life.
Moving on. So when did you decide? When did you have the notion of that's what I want to do? I want to venture into the world of professional wrestling.
So as a kid, it's always you're watching whatever you're watching on TV. It could be movies, TV, wrestling, whatever it is, and you can always picture yourselves in those moments doing those types of things. So for me, it was I started watching, and I said I would like to be like those guys. The big shows, the Braun Strowmans, Kane, those bigger guys. I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger guy myself. That's always been a dream of mine, a goal of mine. And I didn't really see it as attainable until I met a couple of the wrestlers backstage IWE. And they kind of brought me in to multiple different promotions. And then, made IWE my home.
Okay. What facility have you been training in or trained in as far as like schools and whatnot?
Yeah, so I trained under Super Shogun Wrestling. They run out of West Branch, Michigan. Under JJ Hughes is my main coach. I also train under Ben Brody, Jared Warren, and Caesar and Bojack from the Den. So we've got a great cast and crew for people to learn from. They're incredible teachers, and I owe a lot to them so far. I've learned tons I can't even put into words, you know, the amount of gratitude that I have for all those guys.
Okay.
So, in IWE, in other places, you guys all, this brotherhood or whatever, paying your dues, you guys all show up and set up the ring and tear it down, and is that an important part to you, for you to be part of?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's an honor for me to be able to be there before and after shows, and kind of show my appreciation to the company, to IWE, you know, by setting up and tearing down and helping wherever I can. You know, I've seen it not necessarily in this locker room, but in other locker rooms where you've got staff, wrestlers, whatever, you know, and they just kind of sit around and hang out the whole time. And to me, that's just a sign of like disrespect. I don't like that. I think people need to get in there and put in and help out. You know, to me, it's a privilege. It's a privilege for me to be able to help out, to then step into that ring later on when there's fans everywhere. You know, and that's without me putting in the work, that means nothing. So,
Who is this?
I have no idea who that person is.
I didn't know if it was one of your clones.
No, I have no idea. I have no idea who that person is.
All right.
I just farted for you three. Well, better out than in, Mr. Brent.
Yeah, thank you for that, I guess.
So my next question is, how long does it take for your Segway to charge before you start your shift at the mall?
I don't have a Segway, man. I don't have a Segway. But if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Wouldn't tell you. And also, stop with this mall stuff. I don't work at a mall. I patrol the streets, man. If you scroll through my Facebook page any bit of time, you'd see that I've arrested a few people running around out in public.
Well, go ahead,
I scrolled through your Facebook page, and I have a question similar to Matt's Segway question. Who the hell taught you? You look like some 80s guy at a dance. Who taught you how to dance?
Mama Atlas is very proud. Mama Atlas is very proud. You know, I taught myself how to dance. Not everybody has the privilege of having people around, tutors and mentors, that can teach you everything that you know. You know what? Why don't you stand up and bust a move real quick? Both of you guys. Or are you guys going to break hips? Is that what's going to happen instead? I was grooving. I was grooving and moving, okay? Oh, yeah, look at you. Wow.
See, I know I dance like a poor kid, so I'm not going to worry about it.
You look like a poor kid, too.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We do have someone in the chat. So I got a question for Mall Cop Fife. I know you. I know you wrestle, but here, I'll just throw it up there. There you go.
It's not my job to translate your guys' questions, okay? I got a question for Mall Cop Fife. I know you wrestle, but what are you going to do now that the malls are closing up around the country? Listen, I wrestle. Ta-da, you answered the question yourself, John. Why don't you find a camera and press record? That's all you're good for, man.
Oh, so he's one of he's one of the IW guys then.
Yeah, he's our wonderful cameraman.
Now
he likes to pester me.
I was talking to Officer Atlas before the show, and I noticed because you said Phil was a wrestler, right? He's part of your crew there at IWE. I welcome all you guys to, after this episode, to reach out to me and we'll bring you on just like we're doing here. And I will try to keep it more professional going forward. I'm just playing around with Mr. Scott Atlas here. but let's get back
Officer
into it.
Scott Atlas.
Officer Scott Atlas, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. It's fine.
So, out of the whole roster at IWE, who do you want in the middle of the ring in the future? Like, who is the dude that you want to call out right here, right now? And since I have a little bit of connection with John, maybe we can make that happen for you.
Well, I think there's a lot on my plate right now in dealing with, Creature Feature, Stuntman Mike, Starless Spangle. There's a lot that I have on my plate in regards to that. I don't think there's a single person in that locker room that doesn't have a bone to pick with me. I don't know if you guys saw the footage at the Rumble where everybody beat me down. I was beaten by 6 men, and John Campbell was there too. That was all ridiculous. So in regards to that, when I'm done settling that business, JJ Hughes is the guy. JJ Hughes, Chico Amante, Pun the Psych has something up, his sleeve or whatever he wants to say. He's always been riding my coattails since I started this thing. Those 3 guys right there, I'd say, have something coming for them. But JJ Hughes especially. And I could go down the list. I think Tyler Dean and I could tear the house down. I think Cody Leedy and I could do some seriously good work. But JJ Hughes is the guy for sure.
Okay.
So talking about Stuntman Mike and John Campbell, right? Talk to us about how great John Campbell and Stuntman Mike are, because they don't stay down after your beating.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I'm
feel
not hitting them
about
hard enough or something. I don't know. They keep getting up. Yeah, I mean, you guys I saw the episode that you guys just did with John where you showed him the footage of him throwing me through a chair and all that stuff. And yeah, that was after I had attacked his hip. So I don't know. Maybe I need to take his legs both, get both his legs. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take to keep them down. They're tremendous athletes. They're very resilient.
You ever think you're just not that good?
No, I know I'm that good, but I'm not. You can't even say that good. It's the word is great. The word is great. Golden. Better than great. Anything that your feeble mouth could create the sound for probably isn't enough to express how good I am. But it's fine that you tried. I appreciate that.
Now, next question is about your faction that you're part of. Care to elaborate on how that formed for the people who aren't familiar?
Yeah. So when I made my debut, I was security guard, right? You got to play them. So I'm security guard. John Campbell makes his return. Nick Van Cor accepts the challenge. Nick Van Cor is out there, and it was all in the plans all along. Nick Van Cor hired me. I was his hitman, and I took out John from day one. So that was the beginning of him and I being together. Fast forward a handful of months later, and we decided we needed some more star power in our group. And so we brought in the Golden Standard 24K, who truly is one of the best I've ever seen do this. Wrestling, talking, he's one of the best. Like I can't express it. So to have him included in that now as well was an absolute honor. Him and I go back a little ways. When he first started wrestling, I was watching him in the crowd, So him and I have a little bit of history together as well. And I mean, if you guys have watched footage and things like that, which it sounds like you guys have, you can see how well him and I work together. We really bounce off of each other, and I think truly, I think I already said it. He's one of the best. So adding him into that group, to make it a faction, in 24 ever, best financial decision IWE's ever made. We've seen record numbers in the crowd, 300 plus fans, and I believe that's all due to yours truly, Nick Van Cor, and the Golden Standard 24K.
Want me to roll that footage, Matt?
Go ahead.
That you sent me?
Oh, we have a special message that was delivered by a close personal friend of mine. Go ahead.
Scott Atlas, 24K. I want you to look into my eyes right now. And I want you to understand that you are looking into the eyes of a man unhinged. You are looking into the eyes of a man who has nothing left to lose. You two took something from me at Heritage Days. Not only did you see to it that I didn't walk out the Heritage Days Rumble winner, you two took it upon yourself to see that I couldn't even walk out of Heritage Days. So that's okay. That's okay. You want to attack me from behind with a weapon? You want to attack me from behind with anything? I have nothing left to lose. So that means I don't care what happens to you. But there's a little speed bump, and that speed bump is Sean Mordecai. Mordecai, I got nothing against you. You're just in my way. And on September 7th at Ascoda Rockfest, it starts with you. And I will welcome you to my nightmare. I'll see you real soon.
Oh, he's going to see everybody real soon, huh? He wants to welcome me to his nightmare? Why don't I welcome him to my daydream? Oh, no. Shiver me timbers. Yeah, he's a big man with a big mouth. That's for sure. Just a second here. Servant! Servant! I'm hungry. Thank you. Are you guys okay with me having a little snack here? Here you go, Scott. Since we have the same name, which donut would you like me to eat first?
The one with the white.
The one with the white? All right.
Yeah. All right,
John Campbell has a lot
jackass.
to talk about. And you know what? I have a lot to talk about too. And I don't think that you guys understand the amount of hatred that I have for that man. He's done nothing but embarrass me for the last 6 months. Sure, I took him out at the beginning of the show, but I think when he took me out at the end of the show and at the Ascoda Heritage Days, this last show, I think that was much more embarrassing. To end up going through a chair, beaten so bad, you have a little girl, standing above your almost dead body, telling you that you're gonna burn in hell. That's how John left me, and I don't think that that's okay.
Didn't get that footage.
It's been deleted. I couldn't find that
footage. So for all I know, you're making that shit up. I'm just saying.
You want me to show you? I'll send it to you once these cameras are off, and you can see. It's on my page, so apparently you didn't dig hard enough.
Now, here's my question. We understand that you have such a massive, massive hatred for John. But why the hate for Starla? Why?
The hate for Starla?
Yeah.
That hate stems from Stuntman Mike. There was a show where he was trying to jump over the ring with a skateboard, and he had this little baby ramp. And I took it upon myself as security, right here, security, to stop that man from severely injuring himself in front of a crowd full of hyperactive candy crazed fans, I decided to step in and stop him from that. And apparently that meant he needed to step all over me. And he brought in some help. He brought in this fan from the crowd that she tased me. Okay, let me just throw it out there. I was tased by her, and I still have nightmares of that. So that's not a very fun. That wasn't a very fun moment in my career. So my hatred from her stems from she tased me. And every time I see her, something goes wrong. It doesn't go my way if she's around. I don't know what else I can do. She's a girl. I can't do anything. And she's a terrifying girl. Starless Spangle, to anybody out there that's watching, you do not want to mess with this person. It's not good to have her on your bad side. That's for sure. Being tased, being surprised, it's not fun when you turn around and see her face. I don't recommend it. 0 out of 10 stars.
I hate breaking a little bit of the fourth wall, if you will, and kayfabe. My son and I, like I was saying before, came to our first IWE show at the 10th anniversary. Had an awesome time. It was my son's first independent show, and between the interaction that you yourself had with the crowd, and aforementioned Starla, that's what drew him in. And I guess I want to take a moment to again break kayfabe a little bit and say thank you. Thank you for being entertaining that evening. Thank you for doing what you do. And I do want to, all jokes aside, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate what the hard work that you guys do as performers. I really do.
100%. I'm going to piggyback off Matt there for a minute. My wife and I run an emergency shelter for foster kids here in the Panhandle of Florida. We take care of 10 kids at a time. It gets pretty stressful, et cetera, And one of the reasons why I do the podcast, and one of the reasons why my wife continues to push, because this stuff gets hard. You want to quit, right? That's probably everything in life, But she keeps on pushing me, because this hour that I get to sit in front of somebody and joke around with you and trash you and whatever and take it back, you guys are the reason why I have what I have for self-care. So I appreciate you guys taking the time. I appreciate what you guys do out there, pouring your stuff out, pouring your life on, putting your life on the line for fans. Because it hurts. It's got to hurt the shit you do, right? So I say thank you as well. You give me that moment of self-care where I can get away from reality for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So I appreciate you, man. All joking aside.
Yeah, absolutely. All jokes aside on my part too. I genuinely appreciate you guys. I do remember seeing you and your son in the line when I was out there hazing those fans, and that was a lot of fun. I did see Starless Spangle sneaking around the background, and I assume that's kind of when you guys got those conversations in when she was also waiting in line. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys a lot. Seriously, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we like, again, since this is your first time on here, and I'm hoping that we can do this again as well.
Of course. But
I like to go through and I like to ask, again, random, just some of them they're wrestling related, some of them aren't, but most of them are. So you are a fan of the business currently, correct?
Yes, yes,
okay.
Of course.
So you still watch the mainstream stuff. Do you believe?
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
I'm done.
Listen. Just before we jumped on here,
My brother doesn't believe in Joe Hendry.
I hate
okay.
hate Joe Hendry.
Yeah, so I've been a big fan of Joe Hendry long before he ever even showed up in TNA. His stuff with like Jack Jester and ICW was just incredible. You know, back when he was first starting to do those musical entrances and things like that. I think it's incredible, and it's awesome to watch him finally get that recognition. You know, globally. I think if we were to sit here and say that he isn't one of the biggest stars right now, we'd be fools.
Right.
You know, whether you know the guy's name Scott want to admit it or not,
Right.
he's great.
He is. And he is. I mean, really is. I just his it's just whatever.
Should I give you guys a quick turn real quick? Joe Hendry turn?
Yeah.
My favorite moment, and again, it's just going to the whole Joe Hendry, is AJ Francis is in the back talking. I can't remember who he was talking to. And he's like, no, don't say his name. Don't say his name. And then his music popped up, and the guy they were talking to went,
yeah.
And he's like, why did I even clap? I mean, it was just a comedy gold, and that whole rivalry with AJ Francis was amazing. But anyway,
yes.
This is one that I love asking because I hope I get the same answer like I got from I hate mentioning his name, but John. Who is the greatest WCW champion of all time? There's only one answer, in my opinion.
So I've just recently started jumping into WCW, to be honest with you, to kind of watch and study more. But in my opinion, I'm a huge DDP guy. So I don't know if that fits your answer, you know, but he's my guy.
There's a I don't know what you want to call it, a trend or a running gag, if you will, because I'm pretty involved with the Wrestle Talk community on TikTok, and we have made a movement that it's David Arquette is the greatest WCW champion.
You know, I figured that's where you were going with that, to be honest with you, because I've seen that stuff in my TikTok feed too. So yeah. You know what? Yeah, I do. I changed my answer. It's David Arquette. I will rule you.
Such a great movie, Ready to Rumble. Now the next one is Who Did It Better? It's a segment that I like to play. It's a little game. I'll give you moves, and you basically say who did it the best.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with the spear.
So I think the most unique answer, or the most to say the most unique, would be Rhino, but I think Roman Reigns takes it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say Roman Reigns.
Okay. Beth. Okay, I'm going to give you two people to pick from.
Okay.
On this next one. Best, or who wins, or what wins? The orange punch or the Superman punch?
The Superman punch. I mean, there's so much more muscle behind that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, that's Orange Cassidy's great, but he isn't Roman Reigns.
The best DDT.
Jake the Snake.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%.
The one that I'm gonna give to John Campbell one day. That's my favorite.
Okay. This is the one I end up this one on, and it is the choke slam.
Yeah, and that's a really good one too. I've kept it a little bit of a secret, but that is one of my signature moves. There's so many people that did it incredibly. I think Kane, Kane or Big Show is going to take the cake on that. Yeah, Kane or Big Show. I can't decide.
Now, the reason I asked that specific one is
Mhm.
because, again, it resonates with all the TikTok people that I've talked to, and someone came out with the unique answer of the Hurricane, Shane Helms, because he legit jumps when he does it. Like, it's more of a and I had to go back and watch it because I'd never seen it, because that was kind of the era that I kind of fell away.
Mhm.
But that's quite the athletic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely, that takes a lot of strength if you're holding the guy all the way up there, and then you jump on top of it. I think that's pretty unique. I know I've done, trying to craft my move set, I've done like sit out choke slams and things like that, and those look pretty cool. But they're not as good as just the classic big guy. So I kind of would like to keep it traditional and bring it back a little bit, because nobody really does the choke slam anymore. Like you've got Damian Priest does the South of Heaven, I believe is what he calls it, but that's a form of the choke slam. It's not just a choke slam.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Jelly Roll do it at SummerSlam.
And wasn't it beautiful? Come on,
That was
now.
impressive.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
I tell you what, Austin Theory, love him or hate him, the dude sells.
Yes. Austin Theory is incredible with that. Absolutely. Yeah, that whole moment was awesome.
This was just sent to me. They said it was a picture of you. So.
Yeah, that's not me.
Oh,
that's
it's not
me.
Oh. Okay.
That's that Kevin James guy. I don't know what his name is in that movie or anything like that, though.
They said this is a great picture of your guest, the mall cop. So that's okay.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm not a mall cop here, guys. Yeah, I don't you know what? I don't appreciate the jokes about mall cop this, mall cop that, because I'm not a mall cop. I'm a future police officer, and that's why I have this lovely glass, the luxury glass, the fine china. Hey, put your drink down. I'm doing this thing. This is where, no, you too. You put your, not, hey. Anyway, the officer's cup, the officer's coffee. That's what this is. Okay.
No.
Sorry, Matt, for interruption.
I'm really trying not to be an asshole right now. I'm really trying not to be.
Yeah. Me too.
No, okay. Well, make two of us.
Scott, how are you feeling over there, Scott?
I've got a couple questions that's gonna make me feel like an asshole, but
okay.
Now, you talked about your signature. I'm gonna dial it back. We're gonna get back to professional. Who do you model who do you past or current model your move set and your just how you work in the ring? Like, who do you model yourself after? If anybody.
So I kind of take a mix of a lot of people. Sorry, Scotty Jr.'s over here. I kind of model off of a lot of people. But I do take off of Big Show pretty frequently, in regards to just how he carried himself, how he works, he makes the simple things look incredible. And granted, he's significantly taller and bigger than I am and than I ever will be, but just that big man style is great. I know I don't compare myself to the Big Boss Man. I don't do that, but I do think he's a great guy to watch and study. The Boss Man Slam. What a move that is. So that's the big guys. As of recently, like Braun Strowman, I would say, is the guy.
Speaking of big men, the first time I got a chance to talk about this on a forum. We lost one of the greatest big men of all time, in my opinion, over the weekend and did justice.
Yeah.
That name resonates with my brother and I. Scott loves the story. He's much older than I am, as you could probably tell.
Atlas can
And
tell,
yeah. And so we're again 80s, late 80s, early 90s. We're I want to watch. I'm not old enough to really to stay up late and watch Saturday night's main event, but I sneak into my brother's room, and he's watching it on TV. I'm like, all right, I'll come in. I'll sneak into your room, watch it, and everything happened so fast. He allegedly, I asked him to give me the power bomb, and next thing I know, he's power bombing me onto the bed, and my feet catch the light fixture, and it comes tumbling down, smash all over the place.
Mind you, we're above my mom and dad's bedroom, who had told us that evening, Matt better not come into my room and watch it. He needs to go to sleep.
I don't recall that conversation. I really don't.
Yeah, that's incredible. No, that's like the best part about, having younger brothers that you can introduce to the wrestling and stuff like that. Because I sit here and I think about, I guess my first ever choke slam was me putting my little brother through a box on Christmas, so yeah, and that would have been on the hard carpet. You had the luxury of hitting a bed, and I guess the light fixture too, but yeah, he did not like that, but I knew no better. So yeah, that's to be able to enjoy wrestling with your family makes it so much better. Because watching wrestling by yourself is awesome, but when you're in a room full of people that also love it, and in your guys' case where Matt, you had to keep it a secret in a way too, and Scott, you were trying to keep it a secret so that he could keep watching with you, I'd imagine, and that makes it even better because now you guys had an even tighter bond, as brothers, and that came through wrestling, and Sid Vicious. So
100%.
Now, talking about brothers, it took my son again. He had a conspiracy theory when we went to your guys' show, because your brother is a referee, correct?
Atlas's brother is not.
Okay.
But I do have
you have a doppelganger,
yes.
who and quite honestly, my son thought you were one of the same.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Like he's all like, they're never in the same. They're never in the ring, or they're never out here like together at all, Dad.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's a little bit funny because for the longest time he refereed every single segment that I was in. So when John would wrestle 24K or John wrestled Nick Van Cor, he reffed both of those matches, And so I'm out there in the crowd when Stuntman took on Nick Van Cor in the dance off, and I was out there for that too. He reffed that match as well. So it's always a fun play on that for sure. And that is my brother. Yep.
Yeah, it was one of those things where like, we don't see him at the same time, Dad. What the heck? I'm like,
and they got Officer Scott Atlas out there reffing in between segments. Yeah.
But yeah, Scott, do you have any?
Well, yeah, because see, you mentioned us digging through your Facebook. You mentioned us digging. So as far as podcast people go, part of my job is what I do when I have interviews. I shoot out a message to members of the rosters, members of the fan base, etc. And of course, you're no different. I'm going to look up stuff about Officer Scott Atlas, right? I'm not going to give you names, but I have two questions. Here's my first question. Ask him how he feels to be a clown and the laughing stock of IWE.
Well, I was going to say I appreciate you doing your research, but that kind of took any sort of appreciation out of my mouth. Apparently the air too. I'd like to know who said that question because they get added to that list. the clown, the laughing stock of IWE. You know, I feel like I do a great job with what I do. And if people like to laugh at that because I'm put into bad situations and bad scenarios that usually prove unfruitful for me, if they find humor in that, then that's their own problem. You know, they clearly have something going on upstairs mentally that they should probably get checked out.
All right. I can't reveal my sources, but that was a question shot to me. I have my last question, then unless Matt wants to go on.
Well, like I said before, I have questions that, and again, I like to have fun. And this is probably the two most unprofessional questions I'm going to ask the whole time. They're food related. You're eating donuts. Let's talk about food, shall we?
Okay. Might as well. I'll do it with the donut in my hand. You said the white one, right, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
I have my producer, or the producer of the show, and I been going on back and forth. Did you eat Fruit Loops growing up? Just out of.
Yeah, I'm
what
sure.
Kid doesn't,
I
right?
ate Fruit Loops. Yeah.
Okay.
I was more of a Captain Crunch guy.
Okay. Well, Fruit Loops. My question is, do each individual color have a flavor? Yes or no? For your recollection. What's the question?
No, they don't.
Okay, thank you. That's the correct answer. That is absolutely the correct answer.
I think they're all the same flavor.
John Whitley says, I thought you didn't like donuts.
John Whitty, how about you step off, man? I like what I like. You can't tell me what to do. And I don't like donuts. I'm eating this out of a necessity.
Where'd you get those donuts? That's not my question, but where'd you get those donuts? What?
Where Dunkin'? Did I get these donuts? My servant brought them to me.
Well, where'd your servant get them? Because I'm assuming that
servant. Where'd you get the donuts from?
Myers, Mr. Atlas.
He said Meyer.
Oh.
He got them from Meyer, and he referred to me as Mr. Atlas, as both of you should.
What's that, Scott?
Mr. Atlas or officer.
Yes, Scott.
Hey, Scotty.
Ridiculous. I need another bite of donut to calm my nerves here. Here, you know what? Scotty Atlas Jr. needs a bite too. Come here. Come on. He's confused.
Yeah,
you know what? You guys don't get to see him. I'm a sharer and a carer.
Okay, my last food related question. I'm stealing this from another podcast that I am friends with the people who run it. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No. No, it's a hot dog. A hot dog is its own specific thing, you know. It's not a sandwich. Sure, it's meat in between bread, but no, it's not a sandwich.
Okay.
I assume you think that a hot dog is a sandwich and that water probably is wet. Yeah, you're probably in that boat, aren't you?
I'm just asking the questions. I'm not the one on trial here.
I'm putting you on trial. What is your answer? Hot dogs are not a sandwich. That's mine.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I agree with you, Scott.
I would consider them their own entity as well.
All right.
So,
see, all right. You listen. I'll step off. You said the right thing. Thank you.
John warned us about this guy, didn't he?
Yeah.
A little hostile here.
I warned you about this too.
2 wet noodles?
Did he warn you about these? Huh?
Well,
what about this, huh? Did he warn you about this? Did he show you what happens with this? Did he tell you anything about this and how many times it's hit his leg?
He did.
That
He
little
talked about that.
lightsaber? That little lightsaber?
Yeah. Lightsaber will cut you in half.
As long as their lips and assholes not his head.
What is this guy talking about?
I just run this.
All right,
You allow that guy in here?
wow.
Oh my god.
I don't know, man.
I'm
It's your
surprised
show,
he's
man.
even able to type that.
My goodness, this went off the rails right quick.
Yeah, dude.
So, can I ask my last question, Matt?
Yeah, and then I will.
Then the show's all yours.
Well, no, I just have one last thing for Officer Scott Alice, but we can end the show with it. So
Scott,
Yes.
here's a bit of info. This was sent to me too. A bit of information on him. He tries too hard to be a tough guy, but in reality, he's kind of soft, like a cupcake. Ask him about that.
You know what?
People
I'm
think
pretty confident that you don't even have to tell me that you're not even going to share who posted that. Michael Rhoda likes to say that to me. And I am the toughest of the tough. I am the meanest of the mean. These guns don't lie, and that's all I have to say to that. He wants to say I act like I'm tough. Well, it's because I am tough. And if you're getting that, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, then congratulations, man. Your brain's working a little bit more than I thought it was. Congratulations.
Who do you think that's coming from?
Michael Rhoda.
Member of the locker room, IWE.
Maybe.
So he notices that you're the cupcake, or as soft as a cupcake. That's what he's implying.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong in my assumption, but I'm 90% sure that was him.
So we need to get Michael Rhoda on the podcast to see if he can elaborate on that. But I'm not saying that's who it's.
Yeah, if you start interviewing brain dead fans, that would be great for you guys. Yeah.
now my question for you, actually the last little bit, I'm going to open up the mic to you. I'm going to give you the floor to send a message to John, to Starla, to Stuntman Mike, and the rest of the IWE locker room that's not part of your faction, or whomever you want to direct this message to. The floor is yours to cut your promo to be you.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really much to say right now at this point. I've already gotten a lot off my chest in the last week or so, there isn't much for me to say outside of Atlas is getting ready, and you guys are gonna be in for a rude awakening when I am ready. When I do step into that ring and I start taking everybody out, not just John, not just Stuntman, Starla Spangle. Unfortunately, you might just be in the hit list too. That's on you guys. That's on you guys. I'm going to be a force to reckon with. You guys might think that I'm a clown right now and a joke and in the laughing stock of IWE. But I don't talk to plastic buckets and I don't dress up like fake superheroes. So, that's if you guys want to say whatever you want to say, feel free. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to me. That's all I have to say. Outside of, John, you suck. Your sayings suck. Everything about you sucks. Stuntman, you're not too great either, man. Yeah, and at Rockfest, I will be there. The rumor is that Stuntman has some sort of a challenge for me, and you'll hear what I have to say about that here in the next few days, people. Get out of here with this cupcake stuff, man. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that I'm a cupcake? Tell me right now. Tell me who said I'm a cupcake. I'm not a cupcake. I'm a freaking beef steak, man. Cupcake. I'm the toughest of the tough. Cupcake yourself, Scott. Yeah, you know what? You're just tearing down my name. Scott was such a good name until you got here. And then you just ruined it. You ruined it.
I just give you what I have, man.
Yeah, what else do you have? What else do you have up your sleeve? You gonna make fun of me at all anymore?
I'm
What a
not
great
making fun
host
of you
you
at
are.
all.
Listen. I told you that I lived up to my end.
I put my tie on for this, man.
What?
I put my tie on for this.
Did you?
Yeah. And you guys have been the most unprofessional people I've ever dealt with in my life. Matt, you've got redeeming qualities at least, but Scott, really?
As a reporter,
you are just such a disgraceful Scott. You make me not want to have this name anymore.
As a reporter, you're missing the whole concept. As I'm doing my job as a podcast reporter, I dig into the information and I just share with you to create cheap heat. I share with you what I get, and if you're offended by that, sir, I am sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure you are sorry. You really look sorry, yeah. Listen, this is for you. Make fun of you too. I don't have the privilege of having some technological genius to throw up a picture of a freaking cupcake like you do, okay?
Sorry.
But I'll just show you. I'll just show you these again. You keep it up. Keep it up.
Now, all that being said, I do want to, again, we're 56 minutes into this very telling interview with Officer Scott Ellis, and I want to say thank you for being the guest and this week, and we hope that you would be willing to come back on at a later date after we cycle through everybody. It'd be amazing to rehash this conversation and see what other conversations we can have based on your work going forward. I want to say thank you for the last hour. I had fun. I hope you had a good time as well. And if there's anything you want to plug the Rockfest stuff that you got coming up, that kind of stuff, that'd be the floor is yours to promote what you guys have going forward. Not just IWE, but you as an independent.
Something just came across the wire, guys.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
I fear this is. I am legitimately
honestly
scared.
this just came across the wire. I'm no jokes aside whatsoever. This came across the feed, and it has to do with this podcast, and I have to play it. So just right here.
Wow. Tough guy, huh? Wow. That's super cool. Is he threatening to do that to me? Is that what he's doing? An eye for an eye. Rawr. A leg for a leg. I'm not in a bathroom. I can't take a selfie. Oh, man. Crap. I can break a bat. I'm big and strong and dumb like John Campbell. Yeah, that's a great video. I loved it.
I'm just saying, he shared that with me. Now you're getting all this, all offensive to. I just do my job, man. Just like you do your job at the mall. I do my job here.
Listen, I don't work at the mall. I protect the streets. And you know what? I will be private messaging you footage so that you can come onto your Facebook page and correct yourself.
No need to correct myself.
And you know what, Matt? You said all your thank yous and stuff like that. I would like you to add something to that as well. You can thank me preemptively for being the best interview that this IWE saga will give you. Go ahead. My ears are open.
Oh, I mean, I would hope to say that you will be, but we have we have current champions that we are going to bring in.
Yeah.
Just
people
saying.
Holding the belts instead of getting their cheap badges out of the cookie jar. they hold belts.
Yeah, well, I hold honor, okay?
Okay. I give you
I
honor.
hold security in my heart. They can hold all the belts that they want. I don't have interest in that bull crap.
Okay.
Fair.
Not offensive, man. If you give me a second, I was going to say thank you, Scott. Not Officer Scott Atlas, but
Scotty don't.
Scotty, don't. Thanks you for coming on the show and sharing your opinions of wrestling before and wrestling now, your knowledge of the sport, and your hatred towards some real close friends of mine. That's okay. I get it. I don't like my brother sometimes too, but we go on, right? So I'd have to look at John's video or interview and your interview and see which one is better. You know, and I'm not saying but like Matt said, we got guests coming on that hold championships. So my question is, instead of picking on John Campbell, who is obviously a legend in the business in the IWE, instead of picking on him, why don't you go for a title and leave John alone, man?
Well, that's what I was trying to do in the Heritage Days Rumble. The winner becomes number one contender, and I had that in the bag. And unfortunately, I went out there and I was beaten down, like I said earlier, by 6 men, and then John Campbell was in the ring as well. And that's just how that went. I was unfortunately thrown over, and then I was beaten back to the entrance to the locker room. So I wasn't given a fair shot, like I was promised. If I am ever in a position where I am given a fair shot, yeah, I'm 100%. I could have been standing here holding gold right now if I was given a fair shot. A long enough time ago, I could have been.
Okay. Well, no, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Yes, in all seriousness, thank you guys. Yeah, this has been
a lot of fun.
Awesome. It's
Absolutely.
been a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys.
And you can go ahead and press that follow button because I'm looking at your TikTok page right now, and you do not follow me.
Listen.
I would be the 1,000th. I'd be the 1,000th follower that you'd have.
Let me see here. I'm almost certain I followed you guys. What is it? It's Huge Pop?
Well, that's his.
So yeah, that's what happened because I followed that one this morning.
Oh.
What's yours?
Mine is the MATT.
Okay.
I found the Game Changers.
Right here. You ready? You ready? Ta-da.
And I am officially the 1,000th follower of you. See?
Yeah, there
1,
you go. Follow me.
Go. And all you people out there, IW people who have not reached out to me, like I said earlier, I'm not a hard guy to find. Really not. So, and again, thank you for taking this hour and some odd change to come and talk with us. I hope you had a lot of fun. I'm going to roll the exit stuff if you want to stick around just for a minute, and because I want to talk real quick with you. But thanks to everyone stopping in. My dad, my brother, or my sister, Anthony, John Whitley. It was a lot of fun, you guys in the chat. Thank you. Appreciate you all. And until next time, we'll see you. We'll see if I'll see everyone who likes sports on Friday. We do a sports podcast. This week we're going to be previewing the NFL. If you're into the NFL football stuff, join us then. And thank you again.
I'll never back down.